What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, the Trilogy reportedly likely for a massive stadium in September. Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin seems destined to fight each other one more time. The middleweight superstar shared a contentious draw with many felt Golovkin won in 2017, with Canelo then narrowly winning their rematch a year later. The pair have since gone separate ways, though are now both signed to the streaming broadcaster DAZN. It's known that DAZN has been frustrated with their inability to match the pair together over the past 12 months, with Canelo seemingly nonplussed by the prospect of the Trilogy. Now, though, the 29-year-old Mexican is said to be coming around to the idea of facing his bitter rival, who turns 38 next month once again. Canelo on the verge of announcing his fight against Billy Joe Saunders for May 2nd, though it's said DAZN first wants him to commit to a third Triple G bout. DAZN wants, Mike Coppinger reported, DAZN wants a commitment from Canelo Alvarez to fight Gennady Golovkin in September, and Canelo is okay with that. He's totally okay with fighting Gennady Golovkin, but he wants some considerations in return. I've heard that DAZN and John Skipper in particular have come to Canelo and said, all right, fight Saunders in May, fight Triple G in September, and we'd like to do Arreota Marata in December. And then possibly I heard even maybe Dubai or somewhere like that next year. With this global app now launched, they want to take him on the road and make him into a real global attraction to pull some subscribers around the world. And I think Canelo wants that too. Well, I'd say this. The powers that be want it. Oscar De La Hoya wants it. Gennady Golovkin signed to DAZN under a guarantee that he would get a third fight with Canelo, chasing Canelo. And it just shows all the signs, the stars are aligned for this fight to happen a third time. Was it two good fights? Yes, it was. They were fought two different ways because Canelo switched up his style, which was very impressive. Could Gennady Golovkin, could you argue that he won both fights? Yeah. But we know Canelo Alvarez has the star power, and behind the star power comes the money. Behind the money comes the politics. Okay? The politics behind this matter is that Canelo it's hard for him to lose a particular decision. Okay? I just did a video about it yesterday. But they want that fight to happen. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, why would Canelo now decide to give in? You know? Because at first, for a whole 12 months, he didn't want to have anything to do with Gennady Golovkin. He didn't give a damn what Golovkin signed, who he signed with, who's his promoter, any of that. Okay? He didn't care. So my thing is, what brought him around? Maybe bargaining, maybe the fact that they just kept pestering him about it, and he did sign one of the biggest contracts ever in boxing history to this streaming service. So for that reason, and I think that reason alone, if they want you to do or have a certain fight, by God, I think you need to take it, and it might be something along the lines of that. Along with, though, the idea of Golovkin now, fought him at 36, then fought him again at 37. Now you're fighting him again at 38, possibly, right? Well, each time the fights get a little easier. On top of a tough fight that Golovkin had with Deverenchenko gave the blueprint on how to beat Golovkin. He loves to go to the body, Golovkin does. He loves to work the jab, and everything starts from the jab, and then he likes to throw power punches. Okay, he's a heavy-handed guy, very tough. I don't know if you can even knock him out to the head or not, right? But I do think, and Deverenchenko showed us, that if you hammer the body and you hit him in the right area, he will hurt. He can be hurt. If he can be hurt, he can be stopped. Okay? And I think that's one of the reasons, one of the main reasons they decided now to fight Golovkin. Dude, Golovkin's damn near 40 years old. Let's get him out of here, shut him up, beat him, seal your legacy with this particular chapter. With this third chapter, seal the deal with Golovkin. 1 draw and 2 wins. Let's do it. Let's send the Kazakhstan back to Kazakhstan. Right? So, that's what we have. I think that, Golovkin, with Canelo, Canelo should just take the fight. Now, on Golovkin's hand, I think if you want something that much, and you sign a whole broadcasting network to get it, I wonder, you got to ask yourself, what's the motivation for Golovkin too at this point? Obviously, he wasn't confident in the draw, which is actually a win. Canelo did a little better, so by default, they gave him the win. What would he risk the gain for doing that? He couldn't get undisputed. He couldn't break Bernard Hopkins' record. He lost a lot fucking around with Canelo Alvarez. Honestly, he did. You know what I mean? And even after everything said and done, he got the WBC belt because Canelo handed it over to him. He could have just fought the guy that he ended up beating anyway, Derevyanchenko, to become unified. Right? So who has that belt now at the WBO? You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where where Golovkin has sacrificed a lot to chase one fighter. So I guess if he wants him that bad, I guess, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's just sad because we could see Golovkin for the first excuse me, for the first time in a long time, take on other opposition. Yes, he took on Danny Jacobs, Derevyanchenko, Canelo Alvarez, okay? But what about all those other fighters that we wanted to see those fights? I wanted to see Golovkin, Billy Joe Saunders, Golovkin, Chris Eubank Jr., Golovkin, Jamal Charlo, Golovkin, Andrade. I wanted to see all these fights. And then it's almost like he's getting too good to fight these guys. Then going to mention, these guys are undefeated guys. And you know what I mean? You can't call these guys Steve Rose, okay? We've heard of these guys. Because these guys came from weight classes and they were champions in other weight classes. Right? So I don't see why he didn't want to do that. But I guess if you keep on pissing and moaning and complaining about wanting a particular fight once again, I guess, according to Mike Coppinger, you'll have it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about a possible third trilogy fight between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys can counterpunch. Peace.